Today, I'm going to be blind tasting with Kelli White, who is the author of a seminal book on Napa wine called Napa Then and Now. She was also the wine director at Press in St. Helena. She was also a musician from Boston, so we have that in common. And she happens to be an excellent blind taster. I happen to be the opposite of an excellent blind taster.
Dave is a pretty special guy. I don't know what he's more famous for now, but originally he was in the Gigolo Aunts. The Gigolo Aunts was a band that was very popular when I was in high school. But nowadays, I believe he's retired from that. And he owns a wine bar in LA called Augustine. So we share a love of old California wines and music, and so we have a little bit of a bond. You can approach blind tasting with somebody you know in a lot of different ways, and I think it fundamentally comes down to how much you like that other person and what kind of day you want them to have, right? So Dave's a sweetheart and a nice guy, so I'll probably take it easy on him and pick something that I hope will be classic and relatively easy for him. But, you know, blind tasting is always unpredictable.
This is a 1983 Ritchie Creek Cabernet. It's from the tip top of Spring Mountain. It's a wine that I love. It's a producer that I love. It's a vintage that's often overlooked. It's a little bit on the leaner side, even by California standards. And the reason that I picked this wine is because as much as I love this wine, I think Kelli does not like this wine. In Kelli's book, she writes about Ritchie Creek, a producer that she loves as well, but she does not like this particular vintage. And she's wrong, because it's lovely. I think she'll call it right off the bat. I think she will not only just say it's domestic Cabernet, she's gonna say it's Napa, it's Spring Mountain, it's Ritchie Creek, it's an off vintage. That's my prediction on that one.
What about the Second Heights from the top? What's the vintage and vineyard? Ooh. Yeah, okay. Great, I'll take this. Sure. Thank you. So I need to pick a white. And I think since Dave and I bonded over California wines, it would be nice to do California wines. So this is a super fun Riesling from the Spring Mountain area. Bit of an anomaly in Napa Valley, but Riesling was once a really important grape to the valley, and these guys do a great job, so I think this will be perfect.
My white wine is a 2013 Stony Hill White Riesling. I'm not entirely sure why they called it White Riesling other than just Riesling, but back in the day, they had a bunch of different names for Riesling, and it's just Riesling. Stony Hill also on Spring Mountain, also blue chip, old school, great Napa producer, a producer that doesn't make a ton of wine. These vines were planted early on. At one time, Riesling was the most commonly planted white grape in Napa, in California. That's what everyone drank, and Chardonnay was kind of the outlier and the weird thing that they thought, no one's gonna want that. And now that's obviously completely reversed, and you know, Chardonnay is the white queen in Napa and Sonoma, and Riesling is kind of off to the sidelines. But another wine that I really, really love, and I think Kelli is gonna call it Riesling, Napa, Spring Mountain, and the only tricky thing will be if she thinks it might be Smith Madrone, which is a little bit racier and flintier. I think she's gonna call Stony Hill Riesling 2013. Trusty Durand. Looks like the cork did its job. Yep. She'll get this right away. That's exactly what it should be. She'll get this as well. Hey, Kelli, how are you?
Good.
Hi. I awkwardly sat here while you hugged me, so I
know
feel
you're
terrible.
awkward.
How are you? And welcome to Augustine.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It looks
Thank
great.
you for coming in. So we're going to taste some wines.
Yeah.
These are two wines that I picked out for you, and I think they're fairly typical of what they are.
Of what they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, you know, I'm the shittiest blind taster in the world, so.
I'm terrible too, so
Well, there we go.
We're good.
This is going to be fantastically interesting. So go ahead.
Okay. Okay. It smells like old Riesling. But I feel like you are going to show me California wines because that's our thing. that's how we relate to each other. Wow. It smells great.
I'm not going to spit that.
This really, okay, so I can't get out of my head that you're trying to serve me California wine, but, and I guess it could be potentially a California wine, so, because I feel really strongly that this is old Riesling. I don't think it could be anything else, which probably means that it's like Sauvignon Blanc or something.
No.
Don't give it away.
I'm not giving.
Okay. I mean, it's just that uncanny kind of lemon, white flower, whetstone, lime skin thing going on. But it smells, the color is so golden that I feel like it maybe has a little bit of age. If it's an old California Riesling, or an older California Riesling, the only thing it could possibly be, well, there's a couple of things, but it would probably be Smith-Madrone, an older Smith-Madrone Riesling, because I feel like that's the sneaky thing you would do. But don't, but wait.
Is that going to be your final call?
No, give me a minute.
Okay.
Don't rush me. I mean, it's beautiful, really aromatic, still very youthful, very, very vibrant. Really dry, like bone dry finish, very long. I mean, this could be an Austrian Riesling with a little bit of age. It has that power to it, has a little glycerin, has a little bit more force. It could be an older, slightly older Australian Riesling, but it doesn't have that like big kind of stinky petrol hit. So I would say it's so clean that I'm now thinking it's not an older Smith-Madrone Riesling. It could also be a Stony Hill Riesling, but now I don't think that either. I think it is a dry Austrian Riesling. Maybe late 90s, early 2000s, maybe. Maybe like a 2001.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had it, and then you went away. And which is the thing that I hate the most about blind tasting. It's almost like blackjack. Like, if you know too much, then it's more confusing because you know so much about wine, so many different possibilities. Or if you're a guy like me, it's like, I don't know, it tastes like it could be this, 'cause I only know one wine. You were correct with the grape. It is Riesling. And it is, you guessed it.
I did.
And then you went right by it. Yeah, and
So it is
when
from
I told
California.
them, when I told them what I was pouring, I said, Kelly will guess this. She will either guess Smith-Madrone or Stony Hill. And it is Stony Hill. It is the
Really?
2013 Stony Hill.
It's that young.
It's that young, but you remember, like, 2013 was one of those vintages that it was just a perfect vintage, big crop. A
Lots
lot
of
heat,
sun,
and some
lots of
people kind of went overboard on their wines, but Stony Hill never does. I mean, I don't think anyone's ever going to accuse Stony Hill of going overboard, but it is a thing. Also, it's been open for a little while, and when I first opened it to test the bottle, the petrol really punched you in the face, and it's really it's kind of subdued with this right now. I put it in this glass thinking it would pop out a little bit more, but
This has, I feel like I usually expect a little sugar from the Stony Hill Rieslings. This feels
there's
very dry.
Some of those older ones, this is maybe 1 gram of RS, maybe a little less.
Wow.
And I still don't know, I should probably ask you, I don't know why they call it white Riesling on the label instead of just Riesling.
So, you know, interestingly, I actually was just talking to the guys at Smith Madrone about this. White Riesling was the legal name of California Riesling. White Riesling and Johannesburg Riesling. Riesling by itself wasn't really a thing. It wasn't a legal grape type in California. So this is putting something like White Riesling or Johannesburg Riesling at this point is like a traditional.
Throwback,
They're just keeping it. Okay. So just looking at it, I can tell it's got some age on it. Smells like it has some age on it. Wow. Whatever this is, it's in great shape. It's got that kind of sweet, perfumey, incensey note that older Cabernets get, which is what I think it is.
It didn't take you very long.
But how old is kind of a mystery. I love old Cabernets from California from the 1970s, but they play this trick on me sometimes where they have still so much fruit and power, some of them can, that I'll smell it and I'll think, okay, this is a 70s Cabernet, but then when I taste it, I'm like, oh, maybe it's from the 90s. So they are a little bit immortal in that way. Wow, it's really surprisingly tannic. I had an idea from the nose how it would taste in the mouth, but it's really still got a lot of grip and tannin and not a lot of fat. When did you open this?
Opened it a while ago, but just like slow waxed it, probably 2 hours ago. Well, maybe an hour and a half ago.
Boy. It feels familiar to me. So familiar. You're so sweet. You're like
this is
pouring.
what I like to drink when I drink wine.
Okay.
It's like, I hate to say it, this is what I love to drink when I drink wine. To me, it has most of the things that I look for.
Well, it's really aromatic.
It's really it's a pretty nose.
It's a very pretty wine. But it's confusing me in the palate. I think it's not my fault. I think the wine is having trouble communicating. I think the wine needs therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, use your words. Okay. It's so tannic that I'm going to guess it's either a mountain Cabernet
I mean, it's
or
brutally tannic.
something that's been like really worked hard, which happened in the 70s a bit. So I'm gonna assume, let's go with mountain for a minute. So, and I do feel like it's older. I think it's from the 1970s. Not early 70s, like it's still pretty fresh. So I would say late 70s, like 79 is a good vintage I like. That tends to have a lot of kind of intense tannin. Probably screwing this up and it's like 96. So I'm gonna say mountain wine from a producer that was around in the late 70s. Burly tannins, no Brett. I would say 79, Diamond Creek, maybe the warmer vineyards. So that would be, which one faces south? It's either Volcanic Hill or Red Rock Terrace. Volcanic Hill faces south.
Yeah, I think
that's my guess.
That's your final guess. It's a solid wine.
Guess.
It is not that.
Oh.
But
Oh, I should have known.
it is this, and I picked it for a very specific reason.
Oh, wow.
It's a wine, when you're like, this is familiar to me, I know you know Ritchie Creek.
Yeah.
But in your book, which we use and reference here
Thank you.
constantly, this is a vintage you did not care for. And you're like, you write glowing things about Ritchie Creek except 83.
Really?
And it's a wine that I've always loved. And especially when you're like, oh, I like 79. And I think those two vintages are really similar like if you look at the 79, 83, 98, 2011, those slightly leaner, long-distance runner vintages, and it is, I mean, it's clearly mountain fruit. It's like when you got that and you're like, you're so close with 79 and 83, it's Bramley, and it is gnarly tannins on that still.
It's,
I mean, it's
really
like, it's just,
tannic. What didn't I like about it? Do you remember? I don't recall.
I can't remember. You just like, you said something like I don't know what it was. It wasn't a pleasant drinking experience or something.
That's not
and
nice.
I was like, I love this wine. No, that's okay.
This is really nice. It's nice and I like it a lot, but it's hard to drink by itself, right? This is a pretty aggressive finish.
Yeah.
Well, I want some fat. I need some protection.
I love Virtue Creek, and it is old school and it's tough.
It's
and
super
all
old
of those would have
school.
been a really good call. Like,
oh no, it's okay. No, I feel good about it. But this is a fun wine, and it's still such a secret weapon. You know,
it is,
because you can probably even lots of California aficionados don't know these guys.
No, they just didn't make enough wine. I don't think. I mean, they've got this much land.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Oh,
Cheers.
thank you. Cheers. I knew you'd get those. I'm going to just set the bar so low that a baby could crawl underneath it.
Okay.
That's my
A baby
blind...
can also crawl underneath a high bar. I'm just saying. Babies are really
That is
clever.
true. That is true. Yeah, my blind tasting skills are terrible, so.
It's gonna be fine. Look.
I know what I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess that it's wine. I'm gonna tell you that much.
You're already off to a great start. For my red, I was pretty excited that the store had older Napa, since that's obviously what Dave and I enjoy. This is a 2006 Heights Martha's, so not a lot of age, should be showing some nice development. And 2006 was a good vintage, especially for medium-term drinking. It's okay. It's showing a little advanced of where I would expect it. I feel like maybe the bottle has seen a little heat. The wine is still fine. If anything, he'll just think it's older than it is. So we're gonna roll with this. That'll be fine. Okay. So this is both hilarious and embarrassing, but it seems that Dave and I picked basically the same wine to show each other. And that's not easy to do because there's not a hell of a lot of Riesling in Napa or California anymore. But for nerds like us, this is mother's milk, so that makes sense. That's good, that's good.
Hi.
Hi.
What did you pour for me?
The tables have turned.
Yeah, I'm gonna call this one as white wine. This has like that almost petrol-y nose on it. A little bit of residual sugar. Apple-y. I mean, like, right off the bat, my gut tells me it's Riesling, but I don't know. I could be wrong. But it's acidic, too. It's like crazy acid.
So what, if not Riesling, what else? Let's just open up the lens. I'm not saying you're wrong, just making conversation.
The sweetness is what's throwing me off on it. It's like, it's sweet. It's...
Which is throwing you off from Riesling?
No, from other things that it could be. But
So
it's
you think...
high acid, but there's like, I can just see it. There's glycerin. I mean, it's like, it's just going down the... It could be Gwurz, I guess.
I just opened this. I feel like this could use some air, man. Probably should have decanted it. Okay, what about parts of the world?
Well, the acid is throwing me off on that one too.
Okay.
It's
in
like
what way?
it's like full bodied. I mean, like or just not full bodied, but there's enough acid in it that it's hard for me to. And again, it's probably something super easy that I'm just missing.
Don't
It could be
overthink
something
it.
that's like, yeah, that it's like.
Go with your gut. What does your gut tell you?
Well, now my gut just completely changed to something else, but it's not that.
What did your gut tell you?
It's young, I think. It's tasty. It just tastes good. Like, I want to drink that shit.
Good. Do you feel like you've had it before?
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I've had a lot of wines, and I'm a terrible taster. It tastes good to me. It's a lovely wine. I would just call that lovely.
I think
Like,
that works.
It's pretty.
not
It's
inaccurate.
nice. I'm just looking at the glass being coated with liquid.
Which might point back to you thinking it has some residual sugar, right?
Yeah, it just feels like it has residual sugar to me. I mean, and there's to me, and I pick up, and maybe I'm just calling it wrong, but I pick up a petrol-y nose. Like
Yeah.
and it's, it feels like, I feel like it's Riesling.
Then
but
let's go with that. Now expand.
Now, yeah, but
you
now I'm
gotta,
gonna have
you
to try-
gotta
kinda have-
commit at some point, right?
Oh yeah, I suppose I do, and I'm terrible at that. I'm gonna commit to Riesling. The only thing that's throwing me off is like I just it feels more old world than new world just because I mean it's fruity and it's big, but it's the acid is high enough that I'm gonna go nice young. If you watch, you tell me it's like Rudy Pichler, Grun or something like that. I'm completely crazy, but I'm just gonna go with young German Riesling.
Okay. I like it.
But-
You're gonna die. This is so silly.
It's Smith Madrone Riesling. There you go. And the
Kissing
thing that's
cousins.
pathetic about this, this is when you're like, does it feel familiar to you? And I was like, yeah, it does, but I couldn't place it. The thing this is why you don't want me on your blind tasting team.
That's
You
for
want me
my
to
team
drive
that
you
I'm
there?
assembling for the Olympics.
I will drive you there, and I'll get you there safely. And I'll even,
Pack snacks.
yeah, I'll pack snacks, and I'll clean the dishes in the glasses. This is a wine that not only do I like, I've had a million times.
I'm sure you have
and
it here.
I own a lot of this,
Yeah.
especially 2014, because that is my daughter's birth year, and I have quite a bit of that. And I actually tasted this and bought this at Smith Madrone with my wife not that long ago
Look,
from Charlie.
I think you were super
So-
close.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
But-
beautiful wine.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
like, it's
showing
lovely.
well,
It's
but
lovely. It
How
just smells like Riesling.
freaking young does this taste? I mean,
Young.
like a,
It tastes
like a
like a nice
17
young-
or something like that. This has a long life ahead of it. It's a good.
I came close to getting the grape. I got
You
the grape.
did get the
okay, I got
grape.
the grape. Just not the country or
Look.
the producer.
It's good to get the grape. I think it's hilarious that we both chose a Napa Riesling. All right.
Okay.
Why don't you get started on the red?
If you held a gun to my head right now and said
Yeah.
make a snap decision, I would
have
say
a
it's young domestic Cabernet.
Great. How young?
Not super, super young, because, I mean, the vanilla and the oak is still there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm swallowing it. It tastes good.
Okay. So,
Or
okay.
it's big and it's full-bodied and it's ripe.
When you say old but not super old, like, what does that mean?
Well, I mean, it's hard for us because we pour, domestic cab from the 30s here. And,
Right.
and old for us is 50s, 60s. I'm gonna say it's not more than 10 years old.
Okay. Do you have a sense, when you say domestic, of where?
Yeah. But I'm probably wrong, but I think it's ripe. I mean, there's a sweetness to it, too. There's a sweet, ripe pretty nice fruit, well made. It's super clean. There's nothing gnarly about it. It's just really, really nice.
So the white had some petrol on the nose. Yep. Is there anything that stands out on the nose of this wine too?
Nothing really stands out except for I'm still smelling the beets that they're cooking off in the kitchen. So it's just dark fruit. It smells like it's a dark fruited, pretty wine.
So is 10-year-old domestic Cabernet, is that what you want to go with?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, shit, I should have guessed, like...
No. Look, it's a pretty, it's a riper vintage of Martha's. And
yeah, but I didn't get that eucalyptus-y, minty thing right off the bat.
It's more minty. It's like, but it's so...
Yeah, but now that I know what it is and I'm looking for it, it's like, oh, yeah, how did I not get that?
Hindsight is pretty powerful in blind tasting.
But that's a nice... And it's 13 years old, so... I'm off on that one, too.
No, you're very close. This is why I think you don't think you're good at blind tasting, because you're being really hard on yourself.
Well, thank you for sharing that. It's fucking delicious.
Yeah, it's good. I worried when I first opened it that I'd seen a little touch of some heat? Bottle heat. Yeah, some heat at some point.
A tiny little bit, like, for 1 second, but I don't think so. I think it's... How was the cork?
Cork was perfect.
It smells beautiful, and it tastes beautiful.
But I think the ripeness of this vintage is giving that mint a little bit of a chocolate mint kind of a quality. It's not the same heady, herbal kiss this wine always has. It's wrapped in chocolate.
Yeah, and it's just delicious.
It's good. Yeah, cool.
Thank you for sharing those. Those are great.
Thank you.
Come in here and guest pour them. You should stay tonight.
This is a better... I like this side of this operation better than the hot seat.
It is weird, kind of, that we both chose Napa Cabs and Napa Rieslings.
Well, I think we were being...
Is that like play the player, not the game?
Yeah, or? I think we were being gentle. It's like two little fuzzy bunnies in a knife fight. You know, I think we were trying to be nice to each other. We did it. We got through it.
No, you nailed it. I came.
Stop it.